Hello everybody. Before we get started, as always, I want to give a shout out to the lovely music we've been listening to during pre-stream here. This is Retro by Declan DP. You can find their information in the credits section of my Twitch page below. Thank you to Declan and everybody like them who makes either free to use or low cost assets for us streamers so we can have better streams. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it is in your part of the world. I am Deuscain, your variety type streamer for the night, and tonight we have a very special stream. This might actually be my first ever sponsored stream. The developers behind Sips and Sonnets, I believe they're... Is it Blue Tango Dance? Let me double check this 100%.
Let's go.
Blue Tango Street. My apologies. But Blue Tango Street reached out to me, offered me a free copy of the game, and I thought I'd give it a try on stream, which does make this a sponsored stream. I think I did all of the things I need to do to declare that on the background and the foreground, but if I didn't, and I fucked up a thing, here's me formally mentioning that it's sponsored. It's also in the streaming title. I think I also did it, like, somewhere else, too. Where was it? Yeah, branded content. There it is. Oh. Should be good to go. But before that, we're going to do the same thing we do every stream, which is get a little bit of chatting going. So, hi everybody. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday. I am doing all right today. We are continuing with the vacation. It has not suddenly and abruptly ended. Or if it did, I don't know because I'm not checking my phone because I'm on vacation. But no, I'm having a good time. Been playing a lot of Stardew still. I am about halfway through autumn of my first year. And making some good money. I think so far in autumn I've done a house upgrade, a barn upgrade, and a coop upgrade. All of which are pretty expensive. So, bought animals for them too. But yeah. Aside from that, nothing significant. Like, I am taking this really slow and really chill and not pushing myself too hard. I have a couple of chores and errands I was planning on doing this week. One of which being finishing a deep clean of my apartment. That actually, I think I finished yesterday because I had a little bit left. It was mostly dusting. So that is done. That is taken care of. And yeah, so that particular project's done. I got to take my car in for some maintenance. I'll be doing that tomorrow. And then aside from that, I've got 2 cleaning activities out in the kitchen area that I still haven't started yet, but I still got vacation left. So we'll see how that goes. I might do one of them tomorrow, and then I'll save the other one for like Friday or Saturday, depending on what goes on. Snap, crackle, and pop goes my back. But yeah, generally I'm just trying to take the time to rest, feel good about myself, have a good time. Ordered some, unfortunately, bad pizza this week. I ordered from not a local place, but like a chain, and man, they did not do well with this pizza. I finished the last of the leftovers today, but it was pretty sad. It's pretty bad when the pizza's fresh and it still doesn't taste good. But we persevered, we finished it, and I actually had like some like pre-made shepherd's pie tonight. It didn't taste bad. I'll certainly eat the leftovers, but can't say I liked it all that much. Makes me regret just not making my own shepherd's pie, other than the fact that that just takes forever. And uses like every dish in the kitchen. So, been a long time since I made some though. But aside from that, I think. Anything else crazy going on? It's been quiet by intention. I have been doing a little bit of Silk Song offline. Nothing that's supposed to move the plot, but I have been going around getting like collectibles and things.
Let's go.
But I am at a point now where some of the collectibles I need are behind plot obstacles, so I can't really do them. So I'm at a spot now where I'm like, I think to get like 2 nice upgrades, I'm gonna have to kill a boss, and I can't kill that boss off stream. So, but we shall see. I also have a couple of quests, including one that I suspect might break my heart. Got one for that nice little bell ringing lady, Sherma, I think was her name. And she's descending into a zone called the White Ward that we went into previously that looked like a no good, very bad place. And I am a little worried about her. So we'll see how she's doing, but I suspect problems. But yeah, I've got that one, and I think I'm looking for the one delivery guy's brother out at Sinners Road. I haven't really done much of that zone yet. But we'll see how that goes.
Let's go.
But aside from that, I don't think I have anything too crazy going on. Finally finished watching a series of YouTube videos recommended to me by a friend. She recommended something to me called Alien Stage. Looks like a bunch of either K-pop or Chinese pop videos where I guess humans are being made to sing in like an American Idol themed competition, and when you lose, you die. So watched them this afternoon. I'm still digesting them a little bit, but I don't think I liked it all that much. Like, it's very pretty, it looks nice, and the music's very good, but like a couple of short videos isn't really enough time for me to bond with these characters. I'm already like losing their names. So it's looking at people, I'm like, I know two people, and I think they both died. I know the names of two people. So. Goodness. I did have some caffeine later this evening, or later this afternoon, so that'll hopefully keep me up, but I think I skipped my caffeine this morning, so we are starting to try to get the engine up and running again. So, we'll see. But I do have some high hopes for tonight's game. I did notice when I turned it on, there was like, I want to call it an adult content warning, but that makes it sound like it's something that it's not. But it is like a warning that like, hey, there might be some serious topics in here. Yeah. Sorry, mature content description. The developers describe the content like this. The game contains scenes depicting senescence, which is the act of aging, as well as medical needles. So, probably not too bad, but would like to make people a little aware of that before we jump into the game. But I also probably should read the description. They didn't really give me much to do for this. They're just like, hey, do you want a copy of the game? And I said yes, and then they gave me a copy of the game. So I don't really have any kind of script or things to work off of, but here's the description on Steam. They said, run a tea shop in the British countryside and enkindle your love for poetry in this heartfelt visual novel. Play as Miss Meadows, retired journalist and tea enthusiast, as she prepares for her best friend's long-awaited visit. Listen to customer stories, brew tea, and craft wholehearted poems. The tags are visual novel, story-rich, 2D, emotional, indie. Blue Tango Street is actually both the developer and the publisher, and currently is sitting with 29 reviews as a positive, and has been out since the 12th. So, we'll see. But I think we're going to switch over to the gaming scene and get started here. Scenes of senescence and medical needles. There it is. Okay, that's coming through then too. It's a work of fiction. Names, characters, business, incidents are either the imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Basically, our game is not real. Also, it seems like it's a predominantly keyboard and mouse game. So, other than the base controls, I haven't touched anything for this other than making it full screen. Menu is very chill. Beat the game once, beat the game twice, beat the game 3 times for a series of notes. Interesting. Other than the notes, I wonder what is here to encourage us to beat the game multiple times. Mainly to control this game with left click, see controls for more. Running away.
Under boughs and gold canaries, branches reaching for their kin, wishfully I sigh and tarry, waiting for your merry grin. Colours jive across the sky as heavens shake their golden plumes at candy clouds and passers-by. The only missing thing is you.
Okay, that's a good start to a sonnet.
This is the start of a poem I wrote when I was still a young girl. I remember it vividly. I was waiting for my friend Esme in the park after school. It was a Friday. My family had just relocated here in Midsmouth. She was the first friend I made at that school earlier the same week. Making friends makes a new place feel like home a whole lot faster. Esme invited me to the park. I got there first, so I sat by a tree and waited. Oh, how I waited. So much time had passed, I thought she was never going to show up. I almost missed the last bus home later that evening. But just when I thought about dusting off my skirt and leaving, Esme came running up the park hill with that big toothy smile of hers. It turned out she was busy preparing a picnic basket, one rife with goodies, and a thermos of piping hot Earl Grey. That was the best day of my life.
Aww, that's really sweet.
That tree became our tree. That park, our park. But what really made that day special was when I showed the poem to Esme. She cried until her cheeks glistened. I feared I made her feel guilty about being late, but she said they were tears of joy. Despite all the poem's flaws, Esme practically begged me to write more. So I did. That memory shaped who I was to become. We stayed friends after school, but eventually she had to move. You know how life is. It likes to whisk your dearest friends to the most remote of places.
Very true.
But what luck! Esme is visiting again. Oh, we haven't seen each other in an age. I would love nothing more than to swing the door to my tea shop wide open when she arrives. Oh, we will reminisce for hours, I'm sure. Ah, another lovely day.
She's cute. Nice green eyes. I like her earrings. So we got here traditional teapot. That's an interesting one. Okay.
Oh! I will choke that little bogey.
Bogey.
Goodness. Well, that is quite the entrance.
Oh, sorry, miss. Can I stay here for a bit?
I like the art style.
Of course. Would you like me to brew you some tea while you wait? Tea works wonders for passing the time.
No, sorry. I'm not a tea kind of girl.
Wait, you're British and you don't drink tea?
care to talk about what's troubling you?
Nothing's troubling me.
Very clearly not true.
The young woman seemed hesitant to speak freely. Whatever she's going through feels personal, or even embarrassing.
Right. In any case, you're welcome to stay here as long as you like.
Thank you, miss.
Have I not seen you before?
Maybe you have. I run around the neighborhood every morning. My name's Cassie. Cassie Bones.
Cassie Bones.
I pass by this street a lot, but I haven't been in here before.
Nice to meet you. I'm Meadows, or Matilda if you like.
Matilda Meadows.
And I get it. Not a tea kind of girl. You'll hear no judgment from me. I wasn't always into tea either. My schoolmate at the time, Esme, poured me some. I remember it was quite chilly. One cup was just the thing I needed. I've been on the stuff ever since.
And now you run this place. After all that time, huh? That's some serious commitment.
Very true.
Friends can have that effect on us. We are shaped by the experiences we have with other people. I can't imagine I'd be here talking to you if it weren't for her.
Very true. All very true.
I think so too. What I call me is just the result of all the friendships I've had. Someone famous said that, I think.
David Hume. And you were close. He thought we are the sum of our experiences.
True.
Immanuel Kant, another philosopher, disagreed with that notion. He thought that we are more than that, because there are things we can know innately, without ever experiencing them.
Like what?
Suppose cause and effect is a good example. Mathematics is
We
another.
can sort of figure out on our own what 2 times 2 is.
No, that's a trained thing.
And I thought I paid attention in school. It's my little brother Carlos.
Pardon?
The reason I'm hiding here. He's caught something from school, a nasty cold or something. And now he's like a sneeze machine.
Is he going to be okay?
Hey, J-Log.
He is, but I don't want to catch whatever he's throwing. I'm worried I already did. This is like the worst possible time for me to get sick.
Oh, have you got an essay coming up?
No. I go to LIPA. Heard of them? The League of Excellence in Athletics and Performing Arts?
No, I hadn't.
No. What is that?
LIPA. It's a government-run program. It started 10 years ago, I think.
Ah, that's why I don't know about
They
it.
take note of school kids with athletic potential. They then offer these kids scholarships and training programs so they can compete both on a national and international scale. You can even join a LIPA program whilst attending college, so you get the best of both worlds. I used to run track back in high school, and LIPA offered me a fully paid training program. They got us in touch with genuine athletes and trained by industry professionals, not to mention a monthly stipend.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it sounds like a
It
good
is.
deal.
I can't believe I'm running for a living. I couldn't feel more alive. But we have a big milestone coming up soon. If I catch a cold now, well, at best I'll have to wait for the next milestone. I'd be months behind everyone else.
Well, these things happen
I
sometimes.
see.
I don't know what to do.
You know, no pressure at all, but
But you are at a tea shop, so let's have some tea.
not all tea is, well, tea. Ginger is incredible for your immune system. Seeing as you run for a living, it's also great for muscle soreness. Plus, it has a nice little burn to it, of which I'm quite fond.
I do like the old lady pushing tea.
Would you care for some? It's on me.
I don't want to impose.
Oh, come now. If I was trying to make a fortune, I wouldn't be running a tea shop.
Very true.
Well, if you're sure. I'd like some ginger tea, please. And Thank you.
Click on the jar to select the tea. Get some tea. First, place the infuser in the teapot. I already added hot water. Let it steep. Pass by clicking on small talk. Usually click gloomy around here. Each tea has its own ideal steeping time. Check the tea book to learn more. Ginger's 3. I know I grew up here. You must have a lot of stories. Shop is pet friendly, by the way. Do you like my decor? Oh, that's my last options. I do. It's oddly nostalgic here. Ginger tea is ready. Click on the cup to serve.
Your tea is ready.
Brew an ideal pot of ginger tea for your customer upon request.
Holy, this burns! But in a good way.
That's part of its appeal.
Also, yes, happy Wednesday, J-Log. I'm not sure if I said that earlier.
Still, I can't believe I never had this before.
Oh, I like that. That's good art.
Thank you, miss.
Any time, love.
Say, those knickknacks you got there look really nice. Where'd you get them from?
Oh, all over. I travelled quite a bit, and I always liked bringing something back as a reminder. Which one caught your eye the most?
Fancy tea set I bought in Turkey. I was offered so much tea during my stay in Ankara, I thought I'd turn red. What a thoughtful people they are. I should share something meaningful that happened to me there, or perhaps a cultural overview? Simple story, but one I remember fondly.
I went to Ankara to report on diplomatic news. By then, my career was at its height, so the agency set me up at a nice hotel. It was so nice, in fact, it had a lift man. So I asked him where I could get tea in Ankara, which, thinking on it now, was a silly question. He laughed and said, "Walk in a random direction and you will find one." And he was not joking. I wasn't even 10 seconds out of that hotel when I found one. Or rather, several. One tea shop next to another, and all full of people. I felt right at home. The owner poured me a cup from this giant copper tank. They call it a semaware, if I recall correctly.
Semaware.
Anyway, the tea must have been steeping in that tank for a while because it was so bitter, yet I loved it. I asked for more. I ended up coming back there every day for my whole stay. I sometimes even caught that lift man there while he was on break.
Gosh, imagine how strong tea would be if you left it brewing in a tank all day. It'd be like super tea. You're so cool. I wish I walked in here sooner.
Yay, I told her a good story.
Spent the rest of the morning in casual conversation. Every so often, the young athlete's laughter would nearly shake the cups off their shelves. Miss Meadows hadn't had a customer like her in quite a while.
Over the years, I've filled the stairwell up to my bedroom with cherished memories. A famed collage of my life, role models, friends, and some of my favorite art. I like to examine some of them from time to time and reminisce. It's blinking on this one pretty good. This is the expose that made my career. Massive amounts of taxpayer money that Henry Whitmore embezzled was so close and was close to sending offshore. If there's one thing I'm proud of for having achieved in all my life, it would be not letting that horrid man get away with his crimes. Back at a soft reset the browser? Nice. You had a busy week in general so far? Ah. I hope it gets a little bit calmer towards the back end of the week. Let me actually read this. For over a decade, the United Kingdom has unknowingly played host to one of the largest financial frauds in modern history. Shocking investigation into the career of Henry Whitmore, former Chancellor of the Exchequer and current MP for South Kensington, uncovered a sophisticated and deeply entrenched scheme that siphoned nearly £20 billion from public funds into offshore accounts, shell companies, and private investments. Once hailed as a financial mastermind with a keen eye for economic reform, has now been exposed as the orchestrator of an elaborate scheme of embezzlement that drained taxpayer money under the guise of infrastructure spending, public service contracts, economic stimulus programs. The scheme dates back to 2012 when Whitmore first scrutinized the records. Pattern emerged. Multi-million pound disbursements to companies with no public presence, contracts awarded to firms linked to Whitmore's former business partners, and a staggering lack of tangible infrastructure development despite substantial allocated funds. Cross-referencing these financial records with corporate registries of the British Virgin Islands, Switzerland, and Cayman Islands revealed a network of shell companies directly or indirectly linked to Whitmore. These companies were found to be receiving government funds before quickly transferring them to private accounts under the names of various intermediaries, many of whom were later identified as Whitmore's close associates or relatives. The most damning piece of evidence came in the form of an encrypted email exchange. Million estate in Scottish Highlands purchased through offshore trusts served as further evidence of illicit financial gain. The impact of this financial hemorrhage has been devastating. Essential public services have suffered severe budget constraints, leading to widespread funding cuts in healthcare, education, infrastructure. NHS hospitals report unprecedented shortages. Key public transport projects were either delayed or cancelled due to unforeseen budgetary limitations. The embezzled £20 billion could have funded 60 new hospitals, repaired thousands of miles of deteriorating roads, and provided crucial financial relief to struggling local councils. Said these funds vanished into private accounts while the British public was left grappling with the economic strain, higher taxes, and reduced public spending. Following the publication of investigation, Whitmore has been, well, you wouldn't say that here, but he's been placed under formal investigation by the NCA, the UK Serious Fraud Office. Arrest warrants have been issued for several of his associates, and the Prime Minister has called for an emergency Parliament inquiry. I wrote this poem when I was still in school. Oh, this is the one she wrote for Esme. Under boughs and golden canaries, branches reaching for their kin, wishfully I sigh and tarry, waiting for you, your merry grin. Colors jive, access the sky as the heaven shakes her plumes. Candy clouds like passers-by. The only missing thing is you. Finally, my friend, you've come. With passing time and glee in tow, it's turn on sandwiches to crumbs. Do we laugh at all we know? Away, away, we like air. Away, away, truth and dare. Away, away, we're paper thin. Don't wait for your life to begin. Because life waits for no one, it's on you to give her chase. So give her chase. You know the rest of the story. Sure, read it out loud. Oh, she doesn't actually read. Damn it. Under boughs and golden canaries, branches reaching for their kin. Wistfully I sigh and tarry, waiting for your merry grin. Colors jive across the sky as heavens shake their golden blooms. At candy clouds and passers-by, the only thing missing is you. Finally, my friend, you've come, with passing time and glee in tow. Let's turn our sandwiches to crumbs as we laugh at all we know. Away, away, we weigh like air. Away, away, we truth and dare. Away, away, we're paper thin. Don't wait for your life to begin. Because life waits for no one, it's on you to give her chase. So give her chase. The Corinthian Maid by Joseph Wright. A recreation, of course. I can't afford the original. Yeah. Young man fell asleep against the wall. He was tired and had a long journey the next day. So his lover, Butades, carefully traced the outline of his shadow on the wall. That way she could have something to remind her of him while he's away. Something about playful yearning always moved me. My classmates and I threw a party after we finished secondary school. You can see how proud of ourselves Esme and I were. We had a lot of fun arranging it. On the other side of me was Sandy. She ate all the cake. Cool, you can just keep looking at these. During the few years I spent living in London, I used to frequent the George. I heard the pub is so old Shakespeare himself might have once enjoyed a meal there. So did Dickens. Then again, where didn't Dickens have a beer? I inherited this mirror from my grandmother. It's been in the family for generations. Looking at my reflection always gave me courage to look inward. Introspection is the root of all personal growth, after all. However, lately, I don't know, looking at my reflection gives me a mild sense of unease. Must be the wrinkles. You're getting there. Alright, enough reminiscing, off to my room.
As Miss Meadows settled in for a quiet evening, there was a gentle knock on her bedroom door.
Bedroom door? Who's in the house with us?
Come in.
We have a nurse?
The nurse entered the room with a confident walk and gave Miss Meadows a brief but chilling glare.
How was your day?
Acceptable.
The nurse's face barely moved when she spoke, as if she wore a mask of porcelain.
Last week she replaced my old nurse Helen, who just retired. And a very talkative young woman, is she?
Your dose, miss.
What was your name again, love?
Plath. Lillian Plath.
Well, nice to meet...
Your dose, miss.
Oh. Right. Go on ahead.
Dose of what? Hold this hand to draw the dose. Okay.
We are done.
Thank you, dear.
She has the bedside manner of a glacier. Last few visits she barely spoke a single word, but she seems to know what she's doing. I can't blame her. Poor woman has to go into strangers' homes and see them at their worst. I'll make an effort to break the ice, so to speak.
Fancy some tea for your trouble?
No.
Well, I hope you change your mind someday. I have quite a wide selection and...
What is all this?
The nurse was pointing at a journal and a pile of papers on Miss Meadows' desk, full of scribbles and ink stains.
This? Oh, this is where I write.
Right, what?
Oh, it's just an old hobby of mine. I like writing poetry, you see.
Ah.
I wouldn't dare say I'm good at it, but I enjoy it nonetheless. I got my first one framed by the staircase. It has great sentimental value to me.
I have to go.
Oh, do take care, and thank you.
What are the shots for? Just hopped halfway down the stairs. I hope she liked it. The younger me would have peeked through the door just to see if she liked it. But now, I suppose no one goes through time's ringer and comes out the other side unscathed. I'm just glad to be alive. Speaking of which, I should get on with finishing this part. I've been stuck on it for weeks. Heavens forbid, it could be my last one. Now let's see, I left off at... I'm going to get writing for this poem. I'll draw inspiration from the people I meet every day. Being inspired by people will give my writing more heartfelt backbone, I hope. I need to remember that once I choose a mood, I can't change my mind, otherwise I'll never finish writing. Let's see, that runner earlier today knows how to linger in one's mind. Which of these feelings does she embody more? Say youth. Leave a thought in every heart you happen by, as tea so fondly stains the blankets in. Be warmth that lingers on the fingers held high. The smallest kindness lets their tale. So either of those work. Oh, let's have to use Renpy to make this.
I should go to bed now.
That night, Miss Meadows had a dream. It felt so tangible and slow, as if the air were thick as honey. In that dream, she navigated a dreamscape facsimile of her own home. Suddenly, she was confronted by an aberrant stranger. The stranger had no distinguishing feature, which in itself is not odd. However, it had no face. From hair to chin, it was bare as smoothed marble. Paralyzed with fear, Miss Meadows could do nothing but stare, and the featureless stranger stared back.
I mean, how do you know that?
The distress of this faceless horror shook Miss Meadows wide awake. As she woke, her dream did that cunning thing all dreams do, and made itself forgotten. By the time Miss Meadows was wide awake and out of her bed, the dream was gone, and the stranger with it.
Staccato.
Remember how Esme encouraged me to write after I showed her my first poem? She helped me overcome my fear of showing my writing to others. I started writing more poetry, then got into prose, and not long after school, I became a news columnist. My old typewriter's still around here somewhere. At first, I only did local news, nothing too important. Then I went national and lived in London for a while. There, I wrote the expose of the decade. That news story I broke is still talked about today. I'm so proud of it, I got it framed on my wall.
Yeah, I read it. You did a great job.
One success led to another, and soon enough, I was sent to report on events across the world. I remember every city I've been to. All that because I waited for her on that Friday at the park. Someone else might have gotten fed up and left, or gone to bed quite sour about being stood up.
That's probably a little more close to what I would have done.
But I think it helped temper me into the patient woman I am today. Esme was right back then. The good things in life are worth waiting for.
Very true.
Miss Meadows was used to customers walking right in and hearing that bell jingle as they do. What she did not expect to hear, however, was a knock.
Is that knocking? That's odd. It's open. Come in.
You all right?
Interesting. I like your shirt. Also, a bow tie?
Welcome, young man. You didn't have to knock. The sign did say open.
But, miss, your business looks so much like a home, I felt it too bold to just waltz in.
How perceptive of you. It is my house. I just turned this floor into a tea shop is all.
Hey, Allie. Thank you for the raid. Give you a shout out here. What were you doing? Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green. Nice. Frogs are hopping in. Frogs are hopping in. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I am Deuscain, variety type streamer here on Twitch. Play a lot of story-based games, some Metroidvanias, some RPGs, some visual novels. Tonight, we are actually playing a new visual novel that I got a free copy of, so it's a sponsored stream! You lost a Blue with him using a full restore? That son of a gun. Darn Blue with his cheating. So, are you going to be able to get him next time, or was this like a full-blown Nuzlocke? Also, before I forget to say this, you are, of course, welcome to stay as long as you'd like, but if you got a raid and run, I completely understand as well. No pressure, but if you want to, this is just a nice, chill visual novel about an old lady who owns a tea shop and writes poetry. Most of your mons were 40-ish regular run, but will be done as I move on to Soul Silver. Nice. Okay, that's fair. You'll pay Blue back then, since he's one of the... I think he's one of the gym leaders. Because you have the Johto gyms and then you have the Kanto ones, I think. If I'm remembering correctly. Let me pop over here and clear up your channel to remind myself to actually do a post-raid message. So otherwise, I'm gonna forget. Because I do that. But yeah, as I was saying, stay as long as you'd like, but if you got a raid and run, I completely understand. Otherwise, we are going to have some nice conversation and tea with Matilda Meadows here. Retired journalist and current tea shop owner. So, yeah. Also, looks like we're going to have an ad break in like 10 minutes. So.
I thought people might find it more relaxing that way.
She turned the entire bottom floor of her house into the tea shop.
It certainly is. Nevertheless, I shall treat your proprietary space as if I were a guest in your good abode.
Look at this guy. I like his bow tie.
By all means. Are you sure you don't want to put down your backpack?
Backpack is not quite the term. The bulk of the young man's baggage peeked over his head like a jagged mountain looming over a mustachioed hill. Man-sized freight is perhaps more appropriate.
Hey, don't be crappy, narrator. Be nice.
No need. I got quite used to it. Though, I will be sitting down, so that my luggage no longer tries to introduce me to the floor.
As long as you're comfortable. Tea?
Yes, please. Earl Grey. Extra strong.
Coming right up.
Alright. Earl Grey. Let me see. Herbal teas. Thousands of years. Because it's chamomile or chamomile based, Earl Grey contains as much caffeine as black tea. Wow. So we're gonna start brewing it. I like town so far. Quaint little town, I must say. Supposed to rain today, apparently. Really, looks clear as a mirror to me. Yeah, but wondering, what do you have in the backpack? Oh, this? It's books mainly and 2 laptops. Oh, I wish it saved my page. 5. Do you have a favorite beverage? Tea, coffee, ginger beer, can't decide. Biscuits? Yes, please.
Here we are.
Much obliged.
The bespectacled man made no effort to hide the wave of relief and contentment that washed over him as he took a long sip.
This is simply splendid. I haven't had tea this good since my trip to Kulukumalai.
Ideal pot of Earl Grey for a customer. Nice.
Oh my. You've been to Kulukumalai too?
Have I ever? The region of Kerala was where I did my seminal paper on Langur ethology.
What was your paper on?
The effects of circadian rhythm on the social life of Kerala language. happy to tell you all about them. Just a good hike from the renowned tea farms. Those playful creatures would huddle together at sundown and spend the night grooming one another atop the canopy.
Interesting.
But, come morning, they go into a feeding frenzy where they spread out over the blue speckled Nilgiri hills. Langurs avoid each other during the day, for competition over fruit could be so fierce it stands a good chance of escalating to a full-blown brawls. As if they hadn't been cozying up to each other just the last evening, and would have done so again every night. Ah, I imagine, looking at this behavior from above in a time-lapse manner, it would look like as if the hills were breathing monkeys.
Oh, that is kind of cute. I like this
I
guy.
was simply transported. Miss Meadows was amused by his infectious passion.
She doesn't seem amused. She seems slightly concerned.
You paint a very vivid picture, Mr.
Adam Oleander, PhD.
Hello, Dr. Oleander?
Dr. Adam Oleander.
Okay. Oh god, he's the doctor, because of course he is.
Apologies. I will address you properly then. Doctor.
That's kind of you. It's a useful thing to have in an emergency.
Oh, quaint. Yeah, the people who made this are definitely very British.
If the emergency involved a charging gorilla or thieving baboons.
My goodness, you're a riot, Doctor.
So why do you have a whole bunch of books and laptops then?
Forgive my rudeness, Miss Meadows. I recall you suddenly adding a 2 to your Kulukumalai inquiry. Have you visited?
Oh, it was a long time ago. I was reporting on tea farms there. I was a journalist, you see.
I am in the presence of an esteemed truth seeker then, and a woman with taste to boot.
Oh, this flirt?
Oh, how sweet of you. Kulukumalai is where I source my tippy golden first grade leaves. They are simply incomparable.
Ah, I had a sense this was a pot of bergamot-infused TG-FOP1. Truly remarkable. If only more tea shops around here were so committed to quality.
Well, you are always welcome here, Doctor.
I am overjoyed to hear that. However, I'm not staying long, I'm afraid. I'm only staying in England for another week or so. Conferences and so on.
Oh, I used to love conferences. Getting a press badge made me feel special.
Keen in knowledge we are. Did you find journalism rewarding?
Oh, was it ever? I struggled at the start, for sure. There was an expectation in that industry to comply with certain messaging, shall we say. Unfortunately for them, I never liked being told what to do. I was even fired for it once.
Goodness.
But then I made my big break. It was validating to see that holding on to my principles, painful as it was worth it.
And what principles are those?
The truth must be revealed exactly as you find it, without embellishments for anyone's benefit.
It's a good principle. It's a very good principle.
With that, I must concur. Some members of the scientific community were found accused of misconduct, similar to what you say you were expected to commit. They are desperate enough for accolades that they fake data or twist it to serve their needs.
Yeah, that happens.
It causes more harm than good. Pure selfishness is what it comes down to.
Yeah, he's not wrong. There was it Nietzsche? Who said something to the effect of, like, people don't find the right answer. They find the answer that best suits their own theories and perceptions of the situation. They're looking for something to back up their own ideas rather than looking for whatever the objective truth is.
Precisely.
But please, continue. How does your career relate to your journey with tea?
Well, after my big news story, you see, I was getting requests to cover news all over the Isles, and later on, the rest of the world.
Let's switch to an ad break here before she gets too deeply into this topic, because we've got less than a minute left. So, be back in 3 minutes, folks. All right, everybody, we are back. Let's hop back into it. So we're just starting a new section here, where she was explaining she had a career in journalism, and the doctor she was speaking with says, "How does your journalism career relate to your journey with tea?" After the big news story, was getting responses to cover news all over the aisles, and later the rest of the world.
That's how I got to know tea so intimately, by flying around and trying all sorts.
I have no doubt you did us all proud.
Very British of you.
Oh, that's sweet of you to say, Doctor. Say, the conference you're here for, what's it about anyway?
Oh, that? You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
I mean, you're a monkey doctor, so...
You'll think I'm having a laugh.
No, please, go on. I won't.
Well, if you insist, I am here to attend a conference on recent discoveries on type 2 diabetes.
Why did they send a monkey doctor to that?
In domesticated form.
Okay, that's not a thing I was expecting.
Pets can get diabetes.
It's sad, isn't it?
I mean, I suppose it makes sense.
Roaming the wilderness, they are at nature's mercy. But at home, they are at ours, including our terrible eating habits. Can't blame them. It's easy to take well-being for granted.
Pardon me for asking, but Your research seemed more focused on wild animals rather than pets.
I mean, if he's a biologist, he's still a biologist.
Keen of you to notice. You see, I'm not so much interested in pet diabetes myself, heartbreaking as it is.
That's a strange place to smile, but
But if you must know, I do have ulterior motives.
What do you mean?
yes, spill the tea, my friend.
You see, the board at my institute will be attending. Loath I am to admit, those jackanapes get the final say on which research team gets funding, and how much. A big say, that is. And they don't seem to find my kind of research quite so fashionable as to deserve any more funding.
Oh, well, I'm sorry they're giving you trouble.
No, it's quite alright. This is not the first time they block my funding, and it will not be the last. My attendance at this conference is precisely because I wish to persuade them to reconsider. It worked before, and it will again.
I admire your enthusiasm.
Besides, the world's not got much to lose if I don't get my funding. People's lives don't get any better for having known the circadian rhythm of lowland gorillas, or the play habits of young capuchins.
Miss Meadows sighed empathetically. She could hear the man's passion for what he does being stifled by something deeper. The awkward silence clung to the walls like mold. Miss Meadows knew she had to do something.
You know, you had me hooked on your scientific pursuits. You tell them like a story. There is a strength in that. And I think you should use it when you speak to the funding representatives.
I agree. More stories, yes.
As much as you loathe them for withholding your funds, make them feel like their contributions made your work possible.
I don't wish to manipulate them.
It's not.
I'm not saying you should, but they have something you want, don't they? Diplomacy is convincing a dog to give you the frisbee in its mouth. You have to make it think you're going to throw it again.
I see. By regaling them with the impact their past contributions have made to science, they will look forward to seeing more.
Exactly.
And you're good at regaling, that's for sure.
That's a brilliant approach, miss. I will certainly give it a try.
Well, Doctor, the way I see it, were it not for your research, you and I would not be having this delightful conversation.
Exactly.
And if I still had it in me to travel, I would have loved to join you on your expeditions. See? That's one old person's life you've made better already.
Oh, miss, you're far too kind. I've been meaning to ask. You have quite the menagerie gathered on that shelf back there.
These are my little treasures. Do any of them stand out to you in particular?
Cured calabash gourds used to drink yerba mate, the most popular drink in Argentina. Let's pick something else. Favorite books from my trip to Alexandria, Egypt. Arabic literature. Don't really want to go with Arabic literature. Pick something else. Favorite pot? Cast iron resilient. It's more of a souvenir from my brief time in China. Yeah, let's share a good story about the teapot.
I got this in Hangzhou, China. I got lost there, and suddenly I was startled by a stray dog. I froze. I didn't know what to do. Then a boy came by, no older than 10, holding a stick. He waved it at the dog and shooed it away. He looked at me, wearing a look of pride on his face, and beckoned me to follow. He must have sensed I was in distress because he took me to a tea shop run by his parents. Oh, they were so nice. Made me a pot of Dragonwell, a local green tea variety. The tea itself was heavenly. But what really stood out to me was the teapot itself. I
Oh?
don't think I'd ever seen cast iron teapots before, and this one in particular was quite striking in its intricate and symmetrical design. I asked if I could buy it from them, and to my surprise, they offered to let me have it free of charge.
You bought their teapot?
Whenever I could find tea, I always found generosity and kindness as well.
That boy sounds like he's going to grow up to be quite reliable. His handling of the situation was pretty clever too. I would have communicated with the dog using body language. But that's just me. I'm joking, of course. This makes me want to start a collection of my own.
The two enjoyed each other's company over tea for a good while. It wasn't until near sundown when the scientist decided to take his leave. Miss Meadows closed shop and went to her room for the evening.
Delightful day, off to bed, or maybe I feel like reminiscing again. Original poster of my favorite movie back when it came out. Woman called a lawyer seeking legal counsel shortly after being the victim of assault. The challenge: she had not left her flat in 9 years. Her neighbors didn't even know she existed. She was mentally unwell. All evidence pointed to her not being of sound mind, non compo mentis. In legal terms, that didn't matter to the lawyer, who still believed she had a case. So he escalated. It became apparent something bigger was at work. Against all odds, the lawyer won the woman her due justice of the over-the-top legal dramas. I like that. Why are some of them glowing and others not? This was Esme and I at her family's house back in the good old days. Took this on our first year of college. Gosh, fashion sure has changed, didn't it? Esme's family were so used to having me around, they thought I had a key to the house. The tea we had that day was from Assam, a smooth, malty second harvest, which her father brought home from a trip. I was quite furious that we finished the whole tin before he would get a chance to try it himself. I miss her terribly. John Keats, one of my favorite English poets. Led a tragically short life, died at 25 from tuberculosis. Even behind his fiancée and muse, Frances Linden, whom he loved and idolized. Despite his brief existence, his nature themes and emotionally charged poems had a colossal impact on English literature. Bless his soul, I can't help but wonder, what else would Keats have written if he had overcome his illness and lived longer? I suppose he was right when he said, "Heard melodies are sweet, but the unheard are sweeter." Louise Mack, one of my journalistic role models. First woman to report on the front lines of a war, not just any more the Great War, World War I. Louise was far away from home, being an Australian, but she was unstoppable. Her bravery and dogged pursuit of truth in the face of death itself lit a fire in my heart. Nellie Bly, one of my two journalistic role models. In 1887, Nellie was admitted into so-called lunatic asylum for women. Truth is, she was undercover. She pretended to be insane to enter the asylum and investigate it from the inside. She witnessed the inhumane living conditions that the Meadows women were forced to undergo, all under the guise of medical care. Her report on the asylum revolutionized investigative journalism, but psychiatry as well. Nellie Bly, heroism exemplified. Alright, let's go upstairs. Why did I have to get a house with stairs?
The stern-looking nurse had not said a word since her timely arrival. She wore the same expressionless face like it was part of her uniform. But Miss Meadows would not be so easily deterred. She was determined to be her friend.
So, how was your day?
Fine.
That's nice. I had an interesting day myself. curious young man stopped by for tea. Quite an avid scientist he is.
Is he?
My, yes. He studied langur behavior. Monkeys that fight during the day and snuggle together at night. And they happen to live quite close to one of the world's most famous tea farms.
Okay.
The nurse's lack of interest could preserve perishables. Miss Meadows rallied, however.
Preserve perishables. Oh my god.
She was not going to let the young lady get away with being broody 2 nights in a row.
See, you're the artistic type, aren't you? I've got a feeling you express yourself through some medium, yes?
I did.
Not anymore?
No. I practiced the violin. But I grew out of it.
They say it's like riding a bicycle, playing music. You never forget how to do it. Is that true?
I wouldn't know. I never got back to it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your dose, miss.
Oof, I stopped that perfectly.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Another night, and Miss Meadows had to admit defeat. Cracking that egg will take more than just casual conversation. The old lady wondered to herself why she was so determined to get the nurse to be more sociable. Did she miss the previous nurse, who was much chattier? Did she feel the current nurse's guardedness was her own fault somehow? Or did she feel lonely at night when customers were not there to keep her company? Somewhere, out in the night, low heels stomped away on a damp pavement. After sitting in silence for a brief time, Miss Meadows decided to get back to writing her poem.
An eventful day, that scientist was fun to talk to, if a bit long-winded. Or to describe him in one word, what would it be? Yeah, definitely curiosity. I wandered blank where silence held its breath, my thoughts of you like lanterns in the dark. When I asked to blank of you, I did at length until my throat dried up and turned to probably bark. Wandered paths where silence held its breath. As to speak of you, I did at length. Lieber Strom?
There are perks to living as long as I have. One such perk is that you get to be a living witness to many events, both great and terrible. School children would be yawning through history class, but to you, it's not history. How could it be? You were there. A living, moving collage in your head. One you get to relive with verisimilitude, real as the day it happened. Some say longing for the old days holds you back. That nostalgia keeps you looking backwards and denies you the joy of living in the moment.
I can get that if it's taken to excess.
Like eyes glued to a television, missing out on all the life going on outside the window, as if such a thing would be an act of sacrilege to those older and thereby worthier memories. But I much rather think I've seen plenty.
I'm sure she has. Hi, Yuki.
I've earned a bit of telly time.
Hydrate, you bastard! Hydrate!
Haha, I just took a drink of water. But I will stretch.
Miss Meadows felt energized this morning.
I'm doing well. Do it again? Fine, I will. Game's been good. This is actually a sponsored game. The developers gave me a free copy, so I'm checking it out. It just released last week. Oh, stretching my legs out a little bit. Might recommend this game to Elo too. She tends to like visual novels, and she's playing Coffee Talk right now, I think. And this game is very British.
The arrival of her dearest friend, Esme, was drawing near. She swept the floors, tidied the tables, and was ready for a new day. And what better way to start one than with a fond and familiar face?
The runner?
Morning, Matilda.
Or Ollie?
Oh, Ollie. You all right?
Yeah. You?
I'm all right. You know, I was wondering when you would stop by. I haven't seen you in a month or so.
Sorry about that. You know, kids. Grandkids.
Last time he came to my shop, he said something about helping one of his daughters relocate.
Oh, yeah. How's Aisha?
Wears me out still. Hard to believe she's turning 20 soon.
Well, you knew what you signed up for, having another kid that late, Ollie?
I know.
I like him. He's good voice too.
Their mutual laughter had a warmth to it, like a comforting memory. They knew each other better than any two friends could.
What's new with you?
Well, you know, Esme's coming to Midsmouth for a visit. Oh, it'll be lovely to catch up.
Esme's coming?
Yes.
Did she call you?
As a matter of fact, she did. Shortly after you left last week, she said she's staying for a month, visiting family. What's wrong, Ollie? I thought you two were close as well.
Oh, I just noticed his cane.
Oh, it's nothing.
The old man dodged the question with little finesse. She recalled that Ollie had an awkwardness about the subject ever since Esme got that job overseas. Thinking better of the matter, Miss Meadows decided to drop it.
Would you like the usual?
Oh, yes, please.
Green tea coming up.
Green tea is 2. What else have you been up to? Saw my grandkid's piano recital. He's a natural. Gratitude. Thank you for stopping by. My pleasure as always. And green is supposed to stop now.
My goodness, Matilda.
Oliver smiled widely after his first sip. Miss Meadows could see his tensions melting away.
Nobody makes it like you do. So, what's new with you?
I'm writing another one. I think you'll like it.
Are you? That's brilliant. Your last poem was really thought-provoking.
To look in a mirror? Oh, I don't know what you liked in that one. When I was done with it, it took all I had not to scrap it. But you insisted that I didn't.
I couldn't let you. That poem was a gem. You touched on introspection, a subject that's dear to me.
Wait.
The most sincere kind of growth only comes from acknowledging what we see in our reflection.
I just know where I know his voice from. I think it's from Disco Elysium. have to check this. I have to check and see. Voice actor. No, I don't want AI answers. Lenville Brown. Known for that. Where do I find this information for this game? Store page. They have the actors? Disco Elysium, Lenville Brown. Yeah, holy shit. It's the Disco Elysium narrator. Okay, that's awesome. That was unexpected. The most sincere kind of growth only comes from acknowledging what we see in our reflection.
You make the abstract tangible. A mirror. A bit on the nose. But so understated.
Oh, don't remind me.
Come on now. You said it yourself. You can look away, or you can confront what you see. We tend to be so focused on surviving the outside that we forget to look within.
He's so right.
Your inner self is a child. Neglected, it becomes unrecognizable. If you look in the mirror and see someone else looking back, know that it is still you, warped by years of inaction.
Oh God, yes. Speak to me.
That's what you wrote, isn't it? Blunt as it was, how could that poem not move me?
Miss Meadows tried not to smile too brightly.
No. You wear that smile, Queen.
She would not admit it, but she enjoyed being quoted from time to time.
Oh, Oliver, you're too kind.
So, tell me, what's your next poem going to be about?
I decided to get my inspiration for this one directly from people who come here to my shop. You should have met the interesting people who came in the last few days, Oliver.
Oh yeah?
Well, there weren't that many customers, if I'm being honest. But the ones who came by were quite distinct.
An athlete and a scientist.
One was an aspiring athlete, the other a scientist.
A scientist here? In Midsmouth?
That's what I said.
What sort of scientist?
I am not ashamed to admit I'm looking up this word. I think it's an
He
ethologist?
said he was an ethologist.
What's that?
Oh, wild animal behavior, apparently.
What animals? This town isn't exactly a teeming wilderness.
Oh, he's not here for research, just attending a conference.
We have conferences here too.
We're blowing Ollie's mind.
I said that too. Gosh, I wish you were there. I felt I could learn a lot just listening to them talk about their lives. And they love what they do. I find people like that inspiring.
You're pulling out all the stops now, aren't you?
I am. I feel like I have to.
What do you mean?
Well, let's be real, Oliver. I'm not getting any younger.
Oliver looked like he was going to contest that statement. To say she's wrong, to laugh it off, to proclaim she's got plenty more left in her. A conversation they've had many times over. Instead, he decided to take her mind off of that grim tangent.
Does your new poem have a title yet?
Good man.
No, I've yet to come up with one.
Well, you better finish it, because I want to be the first to read it.
Meadows' gloom ceded to the warmth of gratitude.
You most certainly will be.
She hoped the conversation would organically return to the subject of Esme, but it never came to be. Next time, she told herself. For now, she simply enjoyed Oliver's company, as she had when they first met, many years ago.
He's probably heard the stories of all of our knickknacks, which is why we didn't tell it again. I'm glad Ollie stopped by. Every time we chat, time just flies by. I wonder why it gets so weird when I brought up Esme. I always had a sneaking suspicion he had a thing for her. Anything glowing tonight? No. An avid fan of my poetry, used to come to my tea shop often, painted this for me. I couldn't help but frame it and hang it on my wall. That's something made for you is a great honor. But here to remind myself to never take such gifts for granted. This portrait of an old man shedding tears shakes me into my core for some reason I cannot explain. Someone at our age should have done all their crying decades ago. But it is unfortunately the same age where everybody you know starts to wilt away. And you wonder, am I the unlucky one for living so long enough to grieve them? Interact with every frame on the wall. My successful poem, I've Got Chestnuts to Roast. Incidentally, the night before Esme left Midsmouth, we met at the park one more time. Throughout roasted chestnuts, I made Earl Grey. She told me she wanted to make more. Roasting chestnuts was a slow process. She didn't want to risk being late for our outing. Another success I owe to her, I suppose. I'm gonna mess up that, I assume, diabetes shot? I don't know what we're actually getting a shot for.
This evening, the nurse looked less tense. Miss Meadows decided to seize this opportunity to chisel away at the ice wall once more.
Thank you for coming in so often. I hope it's not out of the way for you.
It is not. I live nearby.
Well, that's good. You're welcome in my tea shop.
I don't like tea.
You know, I had a customer the other day who said the same thing. She was this young woman, no more than college age. If souls emitted light, hers would be glowing like a star. She said she was not a tea kind of girl, but I changed her mind. Mind you, I cheated. I gave her ginger, which isn't really tea. But a win is a win, I suppose. Anyway, you can't knock tea until you try it. And don't judge tea by the dust bags they sell in grocery stores. They're the lowest quality you can get.
I'm sure.
You've got to try the real thing.
Miss, I have had real tea before. It's not for me. Do you want your meds now?
All right.
Every time I'm getting it perfect. Oh, that's scary.
Plath gave Miss Meadows a long once-over, head to toes. Before Miss Meadows could ask what it was about, the nurse was already leaving without a word.
Should get back to writing. My new nurse is quite a character. I could sense a mixture of difficult emotions within her. Which one felt more prominent? Neglect, maybe? She didn't seem angry, though she did snap at us today a little bit. The ivy climbs the gate you never close, its green insistence breaking rusted steel. A blank you dropped till sleep. Blank you dropped still sleeps beneath a rose. Too soft, too worn, too blank now to feel. Probably fragile to feel. And it makes sense it's a scarf you dropped? Excuse me.
Years ago, I remember looking in the mirror and barely recognizing myself. Is this me now? Asked a confused voice in my head, quite loudly. You don't see the creases on your face slowly settling in. They get the jump on you. In a way, they're a welcome change, once you get used to them. Some say the crow's feet are signs of having cultivated profound wisdom.
Odin would
I've
certainly
met
agree.
plenty of fools my age.
That's very true.
Wrinkles are not a sign of wisdom. They only signify that you had a chance to stop being a fool. Whether or not you did is another matter, revealed only when you open your mouth to speak.
Very true.
Besides, what good is wisdom? You can make anything sound wise if you phrase it right. I'm doing it right now. But no, not me. I'd much rather be kind than wise.
That's probably the wiser answer.
The pang of melancholy brought about by Miss Meadows' reflections this morning lingered in her mind like an unwelcome guest. It didn't help that the few customers that came and went were all in a rush to go about their day, and not one was in a talkative mood. That was until a jolly, mustachioed face burst through the tea shop door.
Miss Meadows.
Oh, it's the doctor.
Doctor, good to see you again. You seem to be in a good mood.
Am I ever? You'll never guess what happened.
You got your funding.
The grant.
I got the grant. Those stuffy bureaucrats never knew what hit him.
Help a desperate researcher secure his funding.
I did my research on Mr. Huxley, the head of grants, and apparently he's quite the sweet tooth.
So you got him chocolates.
Fudge! A whole box. That was my shoe in the door. I caught him between lectures. He was so deep into that box of fudge, he would have given me the moon if I asked.
Ooh, I could go for some fudge.
But seriously, he was resistant to allocating funds to my team. Grants were told to be more stringent than usual with funding this year. So, I did what you said. While he ate, I recounted some of my adventures in the wilderness.
He must have been quite taken by your stories.
He certainly was. And I reminded him that these stories would not have been possible without his department's continued generosity. With a big, fudge-smeared smile, he told his secretary to make a note of us. We're receiving our funds soon. You know what, Pavlov? I take back what I said about your theories.
Oh, well, congratulations. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, miss. It was a hard-fought battle. Ah, what a joy it is! I get to continue my research again.
Excuse me.
What about the conference? Wasn't it about...
Oh, yes, the conference. Fascinating stuff, yes.
You don't care at all.
Miss Meadows felt something was not quite right. The man seemed perturbed for someone celebrating a great success. Determined that the doctor may be hiding something, Miss Meadows gently prodded the topic.
Are you looking forward to your next expedition?
Of course I am.
Where will it take you?
Well, given the success of my recent publications on primate behavior, I decided to continue further down that line. Next, baboons.
Oh my. Aren't they dangerous?
Normally, yes. The vicious little creatures have canines nearly 2 inches long, and they are not afraid to use them. But not this troop of baboons I found. They are a treasure trove of novel animal behavior. Very different.
How so?
To put it simply, baboons exemplify the survival of the fittest slogan. The big, strong male gets all the females. However, a recent unintended consequence of human intervention led to a radical change in their lifestyle. You see, in a nearby town, regular folk received a large stock of meat that was found to be contaminated, unfit for consumption.
The biggest, strongest males took the meat, got sick, died, and now all of the smaller males get a chance.
They delegated its disposal to a truck driver who dumped the whole pile in the savannah. I thought hyenas might come running, so I hid. These baboons found it first, however. Because of the nature of their hierarchy, the biggest ones take all. Only they got to eat from the meat, and they guarded it fiercely, even after they were full.
Sounds like old-fashioned greed to me.
It was, but that was also their downfall. The bullies suffered agonizing symptoms from intestinal infection and died quickly. The remainder of the troop were too suspicious of the meat to approach it further.
They could tell.
Oh my, yes. Don't let the antics fool you. Apes are quite smart.
Also, by the time they got sick and died from the meat, it was probably going bad.
Relatively speaking, of course. Most other animals, save for corvids maybe, would have been next in line at the death buffet. But let me get to the exciting part. With the death of the big burly apes, the troop's hierarchy had been dismantled. Not only was there a notable reduction in infighting, but their rudimentary community became much more monogamous.
Really?
Over the course of the year I'd watched them, they were the most cooperative, least combative apes I'd ever seen. Isn't that something?
Fascinating. You must have been quite thrilled to witness that.
That's an understatement. If it weren't for that major discovery, I would have had far less ammunition for my argument with the funding staff.
Oh, where are my manners? I'm very sorry, Doctor. I was so taken by this conversation, I almost forgot I ran a tea shop.
Yes, would you like some tea?
Would you like some Earl Grey again?
Oh, not this time. I must say, arguing with the people at the conference has still left me quite anxious. I would really like something to calm my nerves, if you've got such a thing. Floral, preferably, but more bitter than sweet.
Coming right up, Doctor.
Looking for a bitter floral tea. Anti-anxiety, mildly bitter floral profile. That's probably chamomile. Lavender. Aid with sleepiness. Peppermint. Let's go with chamomile and put it at 4 leaves. What's the head of funds like? Picture an orangutan in a suit. Would you like me to make you a sandwich? No, thank you, I just ate. What was your favorite country to visit? Indonesia? Poland? Brazil? I can't pick. Is your family fond of tea too? Every single one of them, we never had a meal without it.
Chamomile and brewed to perfection.
Oh wow, he's a ventriloquist too.
I can feel the anxious particles disintegrating with every sip. Thank you, miss.
You're most welcome. Every time I feel a touch of restlessness, chamomile soothes me like nothing else.
You are as shrewd a businesswoman as you are a tea maker.
Oh, I like her laugh.
The doctor's eyes wandered to the far wall, adorned with knickknacks from across the world.
Would you mind if I asked you a question?
Not at all.
You seem like a well-traveled woman.
Being a journalist took me places, certainly.
Do you regret it?
Why do you ask?
Well, you see, I love what I do, truly. A dream come true and all that faff. Not many could claim to have been a few inches away from a snow leopard in the wild and survived to tell about it. However, I must admit, I sometimes wonder what my life would have been like if I had instead, you know...
Very true.
settled down. Wake up, commute to work, earn an honest crust, do my part for society, then be home for supper. Never worrying about missing a connecting flight, forgetting equipment at the hotel, or getting bitten by a black mamba. I love what I do. I feel free as a bird. But what if I'm a tree? Trees have no business being airborne.
He's bringing up a heavy topic.
You crave stability, then?
Well, maybe. I'm not quite sure what I want. On one hand, there is something comforting about familiarity, routine, like an old friend. But on the other hand, I feel I wouldn't be as interesting if I had stayed in one place. Being a citizen of the world, I have seen more of our pretty blue marble than most of my peers ever could if they had a whole year's worth of vacations.
And being interesting is something that matters to you.
Of course, I would hate to be a bore. I would hate to tell the same old stories to the same old people who are there to see it for themselves anyway.
Nothing wrong with that, though, Doctor.
Meaning no offense, of course.
None taken? I hadn't taken you for the sort of person who had put much stock in how he was perceived by others. Not that that's inherently bad. I travelled a lot because my job in the press necessitated it. But I took that job to begin with for a purely selfish motive. I wanted to see the world, all of it, with my own eyes, or as much as I could at least. The places I'd been, the people I'd met, the memories I still carry with me. It was worth it just for that. Being able to talk about it with equally well-travelled people such as yourself is a nice bonus. So no, Doctor, I do not regret the years I spent travelling, and I hope you don't either.
Yeah.
You have given me much to digest, madam. Say, tell me more about those memorabilia you've got over there.
Which one do you want to know about this time?
Personal story.
Oh, I was given these as a gift from a kind family I stayed with in Posadas. I was there looking into an important lead on a news story I was writing. One time, their little daughter asked me what I was doing. I told her I was writing the news. With wide eyes, she pointed at a newspaper on the table and asked if I meant that. I said yes. Oh, she was so excited to know more. I was asked so many questions, I couldn't get anything done that day. But I loved her enthusiasm and enjoyed sating her curiosity. She brought over some sherba and we drank it together from the same mate, the gourd cup. It was a strange experience at first, sharing a straw with someone, but it meant a lot to her. I got used to it, eventually. For the rest of our stay, she would sit with me while I wrote and played with my typewriter whenever I wasn't looking. Before I left, she offered me her mate to take home with me, and I thought it was the sweetest gesture. I'd already bought a mate before, but I simply couldn't turn her down, so I ended up with two. Even though these two objects are identical, one of them is that much more significant, simply because of the memories that come with it.
That is simply adorable. I hope she followed in your footsteps, miss. Well, I must be off. A pleasure as always, miss.
The scientist's departure was bittersweet. It felt like there was something left unsaid. Miss Meadows hoped he would come back again.
What's the nurse got to say tonight? On my back, I shouldn't neglect my stretches. Up I go.
Nurse Plath came in on cue. To Miss Meadows' utter lack of surprise, she did not say so much as a hello. Without much pomp or circumstance, she got right to work. Nurse Plath came in on cue. To Miss Meadows' utter lack of surprise, she did not say so much as without...
Knew I was going to mess it up at some point. I'm not giving the old lady a bad injection. Alright.
Miss Meadows thought to herself, the poor woman must have had a bad day. She couldn't let her go without at least some light conversation.
You know that young gentleman I told you about?
Monkeys, yes.
Yes, him. Anyway, he had some trouble with his science grant. People he worked for wouldn't give him the money he needed, so he fought to get it back. And he did. Good man. I'm so happy for him. You ask me, those bosses of his might be keeping some of those science funds for themselves. If I still had it in me, I'd look into them myself. Show them some well-deserved comeuppance. I used to be a journalist, you know.
The nurse said nothing, but an audible low-register scraping could be heard from her direction. She was clenching her jaw, teeth grinding like cogs in an old clock tower.
You all right, love?
Suddenly, the nurse left in a hurry.
Goodness. I wonder what got her worked up.
Because my brand of rambling isn't for everybody. It's a shame. I was going to tell her about that troop of baboons. Everybody loves the story where the underdog wins. Anyway, where was I with this sonnet? Let's see. Understand the poor doctor's dilemma. I was there once. You all had to ask yourselves at some point, am I happy here? Am I destined to roam? Let's save here, and we'll finish the poem and then take an ad break, because we got one coming up in a couple minutes. I walk old blanks where once we dreamed with glee, their lamplights flickering at our youthful pluck. That's streets. As birds desire blank, did we to a world to see until we're out of luck. Walk old streets where once we dreamed with glee, their lamplights flickering at our youthful pluck. As birds desire traveling, did we a world to see until we're out of luck. Okay, let's take that ad break and we'll be back in a couple minutes. All right, everybody, we are back. Let's hop back into it. So we just finished the fourth night and the sonnet. I walk old streets where once we dreamed with glee, their lamplights flickering at our youthful pluck. As birds desire traveling, did we, a world to see until we're out of luck. Fawn.
This morning, a familiar dream shook me wide awake. Funnily, it was about school. I heard the top cause of recurring nightmares is primary education, globally.
Unsurprising.
Used to be that war caused the most bad dreams, but I suppose we live in such peaceful times that school is the next worst thing.
It is a stressful time.
Anyway, in this dream, Esme and I got singled out by Mrs. O'Hare. She had us do a quiz with burlap sacks over our heads so that we could barely see the questions.
Oh my god.
When I took the sack off my head and tried to confront Miss O'Hare, all I saw was that faceless head, the featureless stranger staring back. I'd forgotten all about that face. I knew I'd seen it before. Did I? Oh, nobody liked Mrs. O'Hare. She was vindictive. The kind of teacher even parents feared. Still, when I heard she'd passed away, I went to her funeral. Her family was exceptionally kind. We're still in touch. It got me thinking, how can someone so cruel come from such a nurturing background? Or maybe they weren't so nice until it was too late. It's easier to apologize to an open coffin.
Fair.
I do dislike funerals. Someday, I hope mine won't be so inconvenient to those attending. The last thing I want is to be a burden.
Oh, Matilda. You're a sweetheart.
Miss Meadows' morning was dull and grey, by the taut hairs on her old teacher's head in that wretched dream. The sight outside her shop put her in a much better mood in an instant.
The runner?
Morning, Matilda.
Ah, Ollie.
Ollie! Back so soon! I normally have to wait weeks for a visit.
What can I say? You've got me hooked on good tea. Truth is, now that my kids and grandkids are less dependent, I find myself with a lot more free time than I know what to do with.
You'd been a good presence in their lives. You could do with a bit of a break. Tea?
Yes, please.
The usual?
No, not green tea this time. I'd like something different.
What do you have in mind?
I'm thinking fresh, zesty. Between you and me, I've been feeling a little queasy. Must be the curry I had last night.
I think I can get you just the thing you need.
So the color's usually a hint. Peppermint, maybe? Zesty. Yep. Peppermint. It's a strength of 3. Anything in the news I should know about? Not particularly more doom and gloom. Yeah. It's a lot livelier with you around. Cheers, I'll stop by more often then. He doesn't want that topic, so... Where was your honeymoon again? Iceland. I missed that little slice of heaven. The peppermint was 3. 3.
joyful flavour of mint filled his mouth. The kind-eyed, elderly gentleman wore a wide, bright smile.
A lot of antacids have mint in them. I should have guessed you'd make this.
I knew it would come in handy eventually.
Oh, you did now.
Not the first time you'd come in complaining about curry, is it?
Sneaky.
So, anything new?
I can think of something new, bit of a murky subject. But if anyone can lend an ear about it, he's right here.
Have I told you about my visiting nurse?
Helen? What about her?
No, Helen left last week. This is a new one.
Lillian?
Lillian is her name.
Yeah?
Well, she seems to know what she's doing, but she's quite unsociable. Barely says a word.
Maybe she's just shy.
I thought so too at first. It's been a few days now, though. I think she just doesn't like me.
You know people don't have to like you, Matilda.
Ollie, she's not gonna know.
Remember Beatrice?
Oh, Beatrice. She always avoided me back at the agency. You told me not to take it personally.
That's right. You asked her to help you with the Henry Whitmore case. She didn't. Did she?
You're right. Oh, it would have been so nice to work together. How is she anyway?
Last I heard, she had a stroke, staying with her son.
Gosh, that's terrible. Oh, poor Beatrice.
I sympathize as well. But that's besides the point. That nurse is just another Beatrice. You've got to move on.
What if I've done something to upset her?
Oh, Matilda.
Like what?
What if I'd offended her at some point? Hurt her feelings?
Did you?
I think I would remember something like that.
Then forget it. She's the one with the problem, not you. For all we know, she just has social anxiety or something.
You know, you're right. I'll just forget about her for now.
That's the right attitude. The same advice I gave to my youngest.
Aisha.
Aisha?
That's her. I told Aisha, if someone likes you, one human being to another, they will not hide it. People are like the wind. Chase them, and you end up with a fistful of air. Let them come to you, and they will fill your sails.
Oh, who's the poet now? Has Aisha had similar trouble at school?
Yes, trouble making friends. She's done with school, though. Right now she's at work. Can you believe it?
Goodness, how time flies.
Oh yes, 20 years old. Still behaves like 12, as far as I'm concerned.
Do give her my regards. I hope she'll stop by my shop someday.
She would, but she's in London now. We call from time to time.
Oh, London. She's in for a treat. I wish her the best.
I hope her job pays well enough to afford the rent. I hear that's really bad there.
Thank you, and thank you for this tea, as always. Oh, and don't pay that nurse any heed. She's just doing her job. Leave it at that.
Oh, you're right as always, dear friend. Oh, right. Ollie, don't forget, next time you stop by, Esme will be here to join us.
Ollie gave her a laboured smile. Miss Meadows could feel a laden weight behind it. After a pause, he simply smiled and nodded.
See you, Matilda.
She watched the back of her second oldest friend as he left her tea shop, a back that carries so much weight, and yet unbending.
She get ready, nurse will be here any second. Well, he said it better make sense. I should just leave her be. Maybe there's some way I can finally get through to her. Oh, darn it. I didn't want to overwrite that. It's fine.
As the nurse prepared silently, Miss Meadows contemplated her previous attempts at conversing with her. They mostly revolved around interests, trivialities. The nurse, however, would not budge. She responded with nothing but hums and polite nods.
What if Oliver's right? Should I give up trying to make friends with everybody? Nah, we're stubborn.
So far, attempts at engaging the nurse in small talk have all been futile, Miss Meadows thought. But what if the nurse was more of a philosophical type?
I was wondering, what is something you think about a lot?
The pondering look on the nurse's face, coupled with the long pause, indicated to Miss Meadows that she hit upon something substantial.
Have you heard of the lone fawn?
No. Please enlighten me.
After this.
You were saying?
First, answer this. Do you think suffering needs to exist?
Me personally, I kind of do. There's a degree of contrast needed for life to be meaningful and worthwhile. But also, if you work hard enough, you can minimize that point where it's not really suffering. I'm curious about my answer.
Well, it is a fact of life, and we're primed to coexist with it. So I think so. In a lot of cases, a little bit of suffering is what we need to learn a harsh life lesson. Like... Picture a heartbroken lover whose partner left them for someone else. It's a harsh journey back to normalcy from such a low point. However, they come out of it better equipped to select a partner who's more suited to them, or to treat them nicer than they did the previous one.
I think suffering is only necessary because we cannot conceive of a world without it.
Fair enough.
Let me ask you something else. If you were given the ability to, would you remake this world so that suffering did not exist?
Oh. I'm gonna go with my answer. I'm gonna say no.
No, I would not.
Why?
Lack of suffering is impossible. True and valid. But if you could remake the world, that doesn't matter. Suffering prevents suffering. I think that's very good. And you need the bad to appreciate the good. And her story was more about preventing suffering. Can I save here? I'm actually very curious about this conversation.
Because suffering can be used for good. Like the justice system, for instance. Criminals can be punished. Wrongs can be made right.
That makes no sense. Suffering as a corrective measure would not be needed in a world where there was no suffering in the first place. Which brings me to the lone fawn. Go back a few 100,000 years to a forest. A lost young deer gets its foot stuck in a tree branch. No matter how much it struggles, it cannot free itself. Days pass. It's starving and thirsty. Its vocal cords are in shreds, having screamed the entire time. It then dies, emaciated, confused,
A little grim.
No one came to save it. Nothing offered it relief. For miles around, there are no other animals to even hear its calls or pick up its scent. Humans, as we now know them, did not exist. There were no witnesses to this slow death. No one to learn a lesson from it. The lost fawn problem then asks this. Was this fawn's fate necessary? If the answer was yes, then the world is truly unjust by design. Merciless and horrid at its core. It needs we can be maimed, starved, diseased, and it can be utterly meaningless.
This is why she never smiles.
If the answer was no, then why does it happen? What other purpose could there possibly be to an unwitnessed, unorchestrated, days-long episode of pain and misery? Misery from which no one could benefit or learn anything. The only way this can make sense is that there is no purpose. This, miss, is what I think about a lot.
In the deafening silence that followed, the nurse left.
Fallacious debate the nurse. It's a valid question, but also not everything's a zero-sum game like that.
Last night, I thought about all the times I was uncomfortable and how much I disliked each one. We all experience discomfort to some degree, I think. Life by design demands it, and we're not in a position to say no. Discomfort brought on by obligations, health, or circumstances beyond our control. But that same discomfort propels us forward. In a way, we would be nowhere without it. Animals that are used to the comfort of captivity seldom survive when released back into the wild. And this is because they forget that ever-present anxiety which urges them to stay alert and alive. In an ideal world, we would not need to suffer to succeed. Internal motivation should suffice, and whim alone would be king. But in this not-so-ideal world, endless discomfort is the price we pay for an interesting life. A price I gladly paid.
The runner or Esme?
The woman who walked into Meadows' tea shop this morning was not the one she was anticipating. But a welcome sight nonetheless.
Hey, the runner.
Oh, it's so good to see you again.
Oh, fuck. I don't want to mess this up. Cassie?
Cassie,
Thanks, miss. You too.
how have you been?
I'm fine. Can I have some tea, please?
Well, that's the kind of change of heart I like to see. What would you like? More of what you had last time?
No, I was wondering if you had something that might help me.
Oh, no. Did you catch the cold your brother has?
He got better. It's something else. I can't sleep. I haven't in 2 days. It's killing me.
Lavender.
Goodness. Sorry to hear it, dear.
Whatever you make, please just don't make it too strong or too light. Medium, I guess. As long as it makes me feel sleepier.
Tea is by no means a cure-all, but I think I've got just the thing.
Aid with sleepiness. Millennia-old relationship with this pleasantly violet perennial. Our ancestors historically used lavender in perfuming, decoration, food flavoring, wound dressing, and of course tea. Lavender tea owes its popularity to its calming aroma and floral earthy flavor. Many drinks lavender tea for its relaxing effects. The essential oil it contains can soothe nerves, alleviate headaches, and aid with sleepiness. This was a 5, I believe. Do you have anything to eat? Just a fruit bowl with protein powder. Do you do any other sports? Football for fun. I play with friends every Sunday. Most people your age use their phones a lot. I do too. I try my best to cut back on screen time. It is 5. I'm so tempted to get new matching tea sets for the shop. If you do, make mine red. Has your family always been in Bidsmouth? Granddad moved here from Spain in the 50s.
Your tea is ready.
Oh my god. I didn't know people had lavender for tea. And it's so good. Bit strong though. I always thought lavender would taste like, I don't know, shampoo or something.
Can't bathe in this, I'm afraid. Although, now that I think about it,
Oh, stop.
is something troubling you?
Did I not make the tea right?
Remember what I told you about my training?
Yes, you are being funded by...
Lipa?
Yeah, them. I do track and field so I can join the athletics team for the next Olympics. What's more, Holly Hodgkins is our coach, a former champion. Can you imagine?
I'm curious about something. She asked for a medium tea. She did complain that it was a bit strong. Anything to eat? Do you play any other sports? People are ready to choose their phones.
Your tea is ready.
Oh my god. I didn't know people had lavender for tea. And it's so good. I always thought lavender would taste like...
Okay, brew an ideal pot of lavender tea. That's why she asked for it as medium. Okay.
I don't know, shampoo or something.
Can't bathe in this, I'm afraid. Although, now that I think about it,
Oh, stop.
is something troubling you?
Remember what I told you about my training?
Yes, you are being funded by...
LARPA?
Yeah, them. I do track and field so I can join the athletics team for the next Olympics. What's more, Holly Hodgkins is our coach, a former champion. Can you imagine? I used to really look up to her. She's also a LIPA grad. Anyway, a new girl joined us, Gemma. She's this quiet girl, barely says a word. Always wears a beanie, but the crazy thing is, she's a bullet on legs. I can barely keep up. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Sorry. You don't need to hear about my silly problems.
No, it's
I don't
fine.
think they're silly at all. Competition is healthy. A good kind of stress. But it can be demotivating sometimes.
That's what I told Coach. I asked her how I could get better numbers. She said, do more jumping jacks. And I have been, way more. I'm not getting any better.
Doesn't it take time to improve?
I know, but usually working out wears me out. So I never had any problems sleeping.
It's all that stress.
Then Gemma joined and I saw how fast she could run and I Felt like all my work was for nothing.
And now you've got a rival to worry about. You can't sleep.
Yes.
Well, I had a bit of rivalry myself back in my journalist days. He was already well established by the time I joined the newspaper. His articles had free reign of the front page. Mind you, he wasn't obnoxious about it, but try as I might, I couldn't cut it in my early career. I needed a win, so I started working on a big story, bigger than anything I'd ever written. I had a strong feeling it would make my career, and more importantly, make a difference.
And? Did it?
Ah, patience now. I'm getting to that part. During my field investigation on the big story, who do I spot but him, my rival? He was as hot on the trail as I was. I knew then I couldn't slip up, but I hustled day and night. I found everything I needed to publish a story and got my front page article. When he read it, he came to my desk laughing. He said he'd been working on the same story, but his version had major errors, disproven by the evidence I'd found. Then he thanked me. By beating him to the finish line, I inadvertently also saved his credibility.
That's nice.
We're still friends, actually. He comes here sometimes. Now, I'm sure it's not the same as what you're going through,
Wait, is it Oliver?
but I thought listening to an expert at rivalry might give you hope.
Thanks. What you did for a living sounds exciting.
It had its moments.
And you got a friend out of it.
A good one, too. Having a friend like him was more important to me than the boost to my career. So about your new rival, why don't you just introduce yourself? In the pursuit of our goals, it's easy to forget the human element. That girl who joined the team and that Olympian coaching you, intimidating as they might be, are just people. A friend of mine used to say, "You're one hello from making a friend."
You're right. I might be overthinking it. Coach always says that competitive sports are just as much a mental thing as they are physical. Maybe this is all part of what she meant. Thank you.
Of course. I envy you, you know.
How so?
I see you running outside, and it makes me miss being able to. It's so freeing.
It really is. Running is, I don't know, cathartic to me. I'm sure you did plenty of it.
I did run a lot in my youth, mainly to catch buses or trains, and to get away from trouble. Bad people don't like having the spotlight on them.
I want to play that game too.
Whoa. Someone came at you for something you wrote?
Well, not them personally. That would have been funny. One time, there was this hired lackey. Black leather jacket and shaved head. He was paid to threaten me.
Was that here?
London. He stalked me for a while, then shoved a letter in my hand. I just smiled and tore it while he watched. I won't deny I was terrified. The threat was real, but his employer was behind bars before he could act on it.
Wow. Not exactly painting a pretty picture of London.
Don't get me wrong, London is lovely.
But the people.
Besides, he found me a year later and apologized. We even had tea together.
Matilda, goddamn.
With the henchman?
Yes. Gregory's actually quite nice once you get to know him. Anyway, my time in London was special, but I preferred working overseas.
Oh yeah, you sure did.
The young woman looked back at the shelf in the corner, recalling their past conversation about its colourful contents.
You know, part of me wishes so badly for me to get selected for the Olympics coaching program just so I can see other countries. I can't afford to travel. Barely anyone can now.
There.
I just hope I make it.
Oh, I'm sure you will make us all proud one day.
Oh yeah, no pressure. But seriously, thank you. I feel better already. Actually, I hope it's okay if I ask for another story from your collection there.
I'd love to share one. Which one do you want to know about?
Books from her trip to Alexandria, Egypt. People when they met there introduced her to Arabic literature. Prolific and brilliant 20th century artists. The nuanced commentary on life could move mountains. The way they write is so salient and raw it translates to English seamlessly. Which should I talk about? Got it in India soon after my job started taking me overseas. On my time there, a conversation introduced me to ideas thousands of years old, but entirely new to me. Not the sad story. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I guess I'll go through the books.
While not Egyptian himself, Khalil has an avid following in the Egyptian literature scene, and his works can be found everywhere. This book, The Prophet, is one of my favorite works of literature. In it, a fictional prophet spoke to the masses who gathered around him and sought divine wisdom. One in the crowd asked, "And what of love?" The prophet said this, "When love beckons you, follow him. Though his ways are hard and steep,
Very true.
when his wings enfold you, yield to him. Though the sword hidden amongst his pinions may wound you, and when he speaks to you, believe in him. Though his voice may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste to the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning."
Ooh. That's a good quote.
Aw, that's actually kind of sad. He sounds like an amazing writer. I need to learn more about him.
The two spent another hour in jovial conversation. Miss Meadows barely felt the time go by. She just wished a certain someone was here to be part of it.
Hope that poor girl finds what she's looking for. Well, this poor girl climbs these stairs. Don't fail me now, knees. Darn tootin'.
Despite the gravity of the last conversation they had, the nurse was beginning to be a bit more responsive to Miss Meadows' attempts at conversation. Her attitude, however, remained glacial as she got to work.
Okay. There we go.
As the nurse packed up, Miss Meadows decided to breach her defences with a bold question.
"Are you happy?
What?
I mean, are you content with where you are in life?"
No.
"Oh. Well, I hope you get to be."
Are you?
"Me? Happy?"
Even though it was Miss Meadows' own question said back to her, it took her with just as much surprise. She asked it again, this time to herself. Is Miss Meadows happy?
I think so.
I am happy. How can I not be? I got to see the world and devoted my life to the truth. So much good has come from that. I wouldn't have it any other way.
The truth.
The nurse had that same air about her in their conversation last evening, that of a devil's advocate.
Revealing the truth is a universally good act, then.
Of course it is.
Can you think of an instance where the truth should not be revealed?
Personally, I would say the second one here, sometimes to spare feelings, but my whole thing the previous night was advocating for sometimes suffering is necessary.
The truth should always be revealed, no matter how painful. I'm sure people who have something to hide would rather dodge the consequences, but there is a reason they thrive on hidden truths. They would not be able to do what they do otherwise. Little by little, the skeletons in their closet pile up, so the sooner they are exposed, the better. Trust me, I've given my life to this pursuit, and every time it proved to be worth it.
Even if innocence were collateral damage?
What do you mean?
Is it possible that in revealing the truth, people who were not involved could get harmed as a result?
Sure.
Yes. Justice is a noble pursuit, but it isn't perfect. Nothing that humans touch can be. No matter how well-intentioned, every so often, I grieve for the people who lost something because of me. But
A stifling silence settled in, not so different from one that tends to follow the loud clang of a fallen object.
Are you the daughter of that guy we wrote the expose on?
It was so stifling, in fact, that the nurse could not stand being in the same room anymore, and left in a hurry.
Don't know if I regret asking her that or not. Writing will clear my mind. I'll push all those thoughts to the side. The athletic woman, the scientist, or her, the one I'm writing this poem for. Only one gets to decide the mood of my fifth stanza. The end of a beginning, a fork in the road, what ifs? What should I go with, or rather who? Regret, lucidity, conclusion. So now, dear friend, as things come to a close, I write to you as often as I've done. The blank still flows, though slower, I suppose, to stain this page like shadows in the sun. I write to you as once I'd often done. Okay. I think that might be where we call it for the night, because I've only got about 15 minutes left in my usual stream time, and yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to finish another day. So, I think we will call it for the night here. Well, let's look for somebody to raid. Is there anybody else in the same category? One other person. You know what? Yeah. Give this a raid. But thank you all for joining me. I hope you had a good time with this, our first sponsored stream. Sorry, I'm trying to also multitask a little bit here. But yeah, if you want to see more of my content, you can check it out on YouTube here. Also, reminder, I do have a Discord community that we are slowly growing, and the people there get to see stuff before anybody else does. So yeah. But if none of those are your cup of tea, you can always check out my other socials here at this link. And let's get a raid message going. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is in your part of the world. I will see you again on Friday for some more Hollow Knight Silksong. Take care, everybody.